Welcome back to Edu Skills. Happy morning. And our mission is to make you fall in love with OET. If you're watching this on YouTube, kindly consider subscribing the channel. Give us a thumbs up if you like our work. Please share the video to your contacts so that we reach out to maximum number of OET aspirants who are struggling to crack OET, especially those who are financially struggling to crack OET. And today is the second session for Edu India 6 batch, the beginners batch. And we will be taking day 2 orientation. We will be having a bird's eye view into all the 4 subtests. How does it work and what are the skills required? Mainly, we will be focusing on the schema. We will not be explaining every detail of all the skills, but I'll tell you what are the skills being assessed so that you have clear idea as you launch into the practice. You are supposed to develop that particular skill. So that's why we call it, we recommend not hard work, smart work. Know the skills and what are they looking for. Then what are the skills required in each subtest? Under the subtest in each part, what are the skills being assessed? Unless you know what is being assessed, your practice will not lead you to the required competency of that particular exam. OET 2.0 Day 2 Orientation and Edu Skills, Learning Made Easy. OET has 4 subtests: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. And today, order of the test, how does it appear in the examination? Definitely you have first you have listening, then you have reading, then you have writing, and ends with the speaking. For a general idea. Now, first one is reading. So in reading, you have 3 parts, 42 questions, 60 minutes. And topics are generic healthcare topics. You don't have any other topics than healthcare topics, so they are not very challenging. Reading part, you have 3 parts: Part A, Part B, and Part C. Part A, 4 texts. You have text A, text B, text C, and text D. And these are simple things. That's why I'm not taking too long on that to explain. Now, Part A, what is the nature? It is an expeditious reading task. Means you have to read fast and collect the information required immediately, as soon as possible, or as quick as possible. 20 questions, 15 minutes. What are the skills assessed? Ability to skim and scan quickly across different texts on a given topic. Being beginners, you should be very thorough. What do you mean by skimming and what do you understand by scanning? Normally, there are a lot of wrong teachings on this. Skim and scan is not one particular skill. Skimming is entirely different from scanning. Skimming in itself, the word itself says you jump. Okay, jump from important information to, for example, you go to the title, subtitle, then I'll teach you the strategies. You will jump into the strategies like percentage or the numerics or any organ, name of any organ, such strategies you'll be teaching. You'll be just jumping from important aspect to another important aspect. Whereas scanning, as you know, in medical terms itself, scanning means looking for minute details, going deep into the text or audio. So skim and scan is not a single ability or skill. These are entirely different skills. Normally, they say skim and scan, they use as a common phrase, but it's not true. Skimming is entirely different skill and scanning is entirely different skill. So these are the skills assessed, and ability to locate specific information from 4 short texts in a quick and efficient manner. Quick and efficiency. Quickness and efficiency is the keywords here. Locate specific information, what's being asked. Maybe they are asking for a particular number, particular percentage, or a particular organ, or a name of a test, whatever. So that has to be located immediately. And ability to understand the conventions of different medical text types. So I'll be teaching you what are the different text types used in each Part A segment. And they have their own conventions. Once you know those details, it's very easy to locate the answer, which will be explained later. And the last one is ability to understand the presentation of numerical and textual information. That's why I said text, percentage, number, all these things will be presented to assess your ability to understand the presentation of numerical and textual information. So these are simple things. These will be explained repeatedly when we go through the practice and the explanations of this Part A. And Part A, the nature is this, that will have one health topic. All the 4 texts will be based on one single health topics. So the 4 texts are interrelated because they are based on one health topic. For example, if the topic is diabetes, all the 4 text will be concerned or related to diabetes. Maybe the first text may describe or define the diabetes, the condition. The second may speak about the diagnosis or other assessment criteria. Third text may speak about the medication. Fourth may speak about management. So they are interrelated. There is a sequence which you have to understand, which you can definitely find in all my previous sessions uploaded, especially one with more than 1 lakh views. You can see there the primary thing what we took in the initial stages. 20 questions, 20 marks. Yes. Time 15 minutes maximum. What are the type of questions? Matching, sentence completion, that is filling the gaps, and short answer questions, answering a word or a phrase are the types of questions being asked in this particular part. That is part A of reading. Part B, what are the skills assessed? Ability to identify the detail, gist, or main point. So in the part B reading, the skills are entirely different, the skills assessed. So you should be very thorough. We'll be explaining with examples, taking examples from our own material, the skills. So here they are assessing whether you have the ability to identify the detail, means the minute details, and gist or main point, gist or the main ideas, like that will be in the topic sentence, as you say. So these are the things being assessed. The other one is the ability to identify specific ideas at sentence level. In each sentence, there are different ideas given. So for example, as we say, after the contrast word, another idea is given. Maybe the previous idea in the previous sentence of a contrast word is entirely different from the opposite than the other idea. So ability to identify specific ideas at sentence level. And now don't worry, you don't know those skills. I'll be explaining in detail, but generally giving you an idea, because when we go step by step, you'll understand. We'll be explaining each of these things in our upcoming sessions. And part B nature, 6 questions, 6 marks, 6 short texts from different healthcare workplace. All will be from healthcare workplace. Normally one text will have 100 to 150 words each. And what are these nature of these texts, 6 texts? They will be policy document, hospital guidelines, manuals or internal communications such as emails and memos. That's what I said. You should know the conventions and nature of these particular policy documents or hospital guidelines and manuals or emails, memos. What are they? How are they structured? All those details, if you are familiar, it's very easy to locate the answer. So 6 multiple choice questions with 3 options. Time 12 minutes maximum. We say 10 minutes. You should definitely crack it with 10 minutes. Method is question, read the question statement, read the answer statements, then go to the text. And that is normally done for all the competitive examinations. When you have MCQs, if you have 3 options, then you have question first, answer options next, then text. If you have 4 options, it will be question, text, then answer. This all will be in the initial stages of training. Later, I will tell you, even without reading the text, find out more than 50% of the answer. Now, part C, what are the skills assessed? Ability to identify detailed meaning and opinion. Your ability to understand or identify detailed meaning and opinion of the author. So also ability to understand the explicit or implied meaning. As we say, infer. The questions using what do you infer from this particular text? Or we will also learn about deduction, induction, and the inference, all those things. So that will be the ability, a skill being assessed, explicit or implied meaning. That will not be directly given, but it will be implied in the text. The attitude or opinion presented in a longer text. The whole paragraph or the text will give you an idea of the opinion or the attitude of the author. You should be able to identify those opinions. And part C nature, 2 different texts. Long text, no thematic link between 2 texts. These 2 texts will be entirely independent, and 8 questions into 2 texts, that is total 16 questions, which will carry 16 marks. And MCQs with 4 options. 16 questions are MCQs, 16 MCQs with 4 options. Time 35 minutes maximum. Method QTA, as I explained, question, text, then answer options. That I'll be explaining later why. And reading, please note 42 questions, 42 marks. 2, in part A, you should write your answers clearly in the spaces given in the question booklet. If you write somewhere else, that will not be considered. In part B and part C, you must shade the circle next to the appropriate answer. There will be a circle, you have to shade the circle. Part A materials will be collected from you after 15 minutes. Immediately after 15 minutes, the part A booklets will be collected. So you cannot make any alterations later. You have to complete it within first 15 minutes. And part A, you must use exactly the same form of the word or short phrase as given in the four texts. You cannot use synonym or any other word, or you can't change the form of the word. Copy and paste, we say, just copy and paste. Again, 6, abbreviations are not accepted unless they appear in the text. In part A, if the full form is given in the text, you cannot write abbreviations. If they are given in the text part A reading, you can use the abbreviations. Otherwise, if you use abbreviations, you will be penalized. You may not get a score for that. 7, responses that are not spelled correctly will not receive any marks. If your answers are not spelled correctly, that's why I said copy and paste, no change, not even a spelling change is allowed. So responses that your answers that are not spelled correctly will not receive any marks. And 8, grade B, a scale score of 350 will typically have a score of at least 30 marks. But with Edu Skills, we don't train people who want to score grade B, but we train only people who are interested to score grade A. I'll tell you the reasons later. And this is what we said, we focus only on 450, not below. And if you are focusing on, or if you are bothered about just B grade, maybe this is not your platform, you can definitely contact someone else for the training. Okay, that I'll explain why it is so. Now, listening. Listening, we have 3 parts, part A, part B, and part C, similar as reading. So listening, we have 42 questions. Tasks are note completion and multiple choice questions. Now, part A, 12 plus 12, 24 questions. You will have 2 audios, 2 extracts, including 12 each questions. So you have 24 questions, 15 minutes, Part B, 6 questions. And part C, 12 questions. So total 42 questions. Assessment, how do they assess? Listening part A, double marked by trained OET assessors. All these are called OET, IELTS, TOEFL, PT. All these are known as double benchmarked exams. Why we call it double benchmarked? 2 independent assessors, examiners, will be assessing your paper in the first run itself. They may not have any connection between each other. They may not know who is going to value the paper again. In the sense, they will value it twice. And part B and part C, computer scanned and automatically scored. That's why we say remarking is not that easy. To get a better score in reading or listening is not easy, because in listening part B and part C, computer scanned and automatically scored. It's not the human beings or assessors marking it. Part A, you must write your answers in the space provided in the question booklet. Part B and part C, shade the lozenge, displayed the particular circle or lozenge there next to the appropriate answer. What is the part A nature of listening? 2 extracts, 2 audios, as I said. It is a consultation. Normally, it's a consultation part A. 12 plus 12, 24 questions, and time is 15 minutes maximum. Complete the notes using the same words you hear on the recording. Complete the notes using the same word or short phrase that you hear in the recording. Do not repeat the words from the notes. If you repeat the words, for example, particular test is given. In the text, you have test. But then again, if you write blood test, there is a doubling. You'll be penalized. Do not repeat words from the notes. What is given in the question booklet, never repeat them. If percentage is given or percent is given there, again, don't write in your answer percent. Do not add information that is not in the recording. Don't add anything from your pocket. Do not contradict yourself or make your meaning unclear. Okay, for example, some spelling mistakes, minor spelling mistakes are tolerated, but if the meaning is not clear, you'll be penalized. You will not be penalized for misspelling, provided the meaning is clear. If the meaning is unclear, you'll be penalized. Whereas in reading, you cannot make any spelling mistakes. You'll be penalized. Here, minor spelling mistakes are tolerated. Okay, listening skills. So don't try to make spelling mistakes. Always try for not to make a spelling mistake, so that you have more chances to score. So listening skills assessed, ability to identify specific information, detail, gist, means summary, main idea, opinion, or the speaker's purpose. What is the purpose? Why does he speak this? Okay, these are the skills that we'll be explaining in detail later. Listening B, 6 dialogues or monologues, 6 questions, 3 option MCQs. Okay, there is nothing special. Method is QAT, as already explained. 10 minutes. I suggest always 10 minutes. Even if you can take 12 minutes, there is no specification about B and C. You have a time 45 minutes for both the parts together. You can adjust accordingly. Listening C, 2 extracts or audios, 6 into 2, 12 questions. Means from each extract, there are audio, there will be 6 questions and 3 option multiple choice questions. Method is question, answer, text, because you have only 3 options. And 35 minutes is the maximum time. And coming to writing, you have, different types of letters: referral letter, transfer letter, and discharge letter. Referral letter, transfer letter, and discharge letter. Normally, assessment criteria, we have explained detail. We have videos uploaded. Even otherwise, we'll be explaining to you as it comes on the stages of training. And assessment criteria, the revised assessment criteria: purpose, content, conciseness and clarity, manner and style, organization and layout, language. These are the 6 assessment criteria. So when you practice, you should be focusing on all these 6 assessment criteria. For example, if you, purpose is scored 3 out of 1 to 3, unless you get 2, you will not get a grade B or A. Otherwise, like all other segments, they are scored out of 1 to 7. Content will have 1 to 7. Again, conciseness and clarity, honor and style, organization and layout, language. So here you have to get, for a B grade, you have to get 5. But then what I'm telling you, if you don't focus clearly on these criteria, if you score 1 out of 3 here, even if you score here 5 or 6, in all these segments, you cannot reach grade B. So all these segments are equally important. So you cannot focus on particular thing and leave out other things. And definitely purpose I have put in a bigger font because that is very, very important as per the new assessment criteria, revised assessment criteria. And coming to speaking, very beautiful, simple thing. Warm-up questions, you have 2 role play cards, 3 minutes preparation, then 5 minutes conversation. This is it. Speaking subtest overview. Interviewer, who is the interviewer? Interlocutor. The person is not an examiner. They are not grading your speaking. Only your audio will be given to the people who are assessing your speaking. So don't worry about anything of they can't see your face, whether you are smiling or not smiling, or none of your actions they can see while grading you. Interlocutor is just a hired person who is an English teacher. Most of them are just English teachers. They may not be medical professionals. They are just there to play a role with you, role play. Yes. Duration of the speaking test, 20 minutes approximately. Total procedure, warm-up not assessed, 2 role plays assessed. And preparation times, 3 minutes. How many role plays? 2. And duration of each role play, 5 minutes. As simple as that. The setting, usually hospital ward or hospital outpatients. And you have emergency department of your hospital, local pharmacy or chemist, radiography practice, home visit, suburban physiotherapy clinic, private practice or suburban clinic, community health center. These are or suburban dental clinic. Any of these can be the settings. And skills framework, as you know, it's linguistic skills and clinical communication skills. Okay, these are the 2 segments being assessed. Revised assessment criteria, linguistic criteria and communication criteria. And here you have under linguistic criteria, you have 4 criteria, sub-criteria, which I will be explaining later. And you have 6 marks. So total 24 marks. Here you have 5 segment of criteria, each segment having 3 marks, which means 15 marks. Communication criteria, 1/3, and linguistic criteria scores 2/3. Equally important. All these segments are equally important. Here 5 segments, here 4 segments. So 9 segments. In speaking is important. You have to develop each segment equally. Linguistic criteria, intelligibility means whether they can understand what you communicate, fluency, appropriateness of language, grammar and expression. This is what I said, 4 segments. You have to focus on all these 4 segments. And communication criteria, you have relationship building, understanding, and incorporating patient's perspective, providing structure, information gathering, information giving. And maybe just having a glance at the first method, you'll keep on asking me in the future, because I'll be referring to this as a benchmark for our reading, listening, writing, and speaking. First method means FIRST. Each word, each spelling stands for a task. F means foreseeing. Foreseeing means presuming. For example, if you see somebody going with a track suit in the morning, walking on the way, they are having a morning walk or jogging. So presume something from the context. When you know the heading is diabetes, you know they are going to speak something about it. Or if, for example, management of diabetes is the heading. Now you foresee what will be there. Definitely there will be something about maybe exercise, something about diet, and something about medication, maybe about medication, oral medication and insulin. So just foresee from your knowledge what you know. That will help you easily to scan the skim and scan the text. The second step, I stands in the first method, I stands for investigation. Investigation means ask all the questions, WH questions, and one how to the topic. Okay, like who, what, when, where, how, which, all these. Rudyard Kipling says these are the 5 brothers and a sister whom you can take to your examination hall so that they can assist you. So ask all these questions to your topic given, whether it is reading or listening. And even in the listening, you have the topics and the booklet given where you have the questions and the headings or side headings given. So third step is reading. So you don't immediately jump into reading or listening. It's also equally applicable to everything: reading, writing, listening, speaking, but I have put here reading. So third step is reading. Fourth step is speaking out. Speaking out, as I said, speak out in your own words, especially in the initial stage. As you listen to something, try to summarize and speak out. That's also a practice for your speaking subtest in your own words, or try to teach somebody. That's why we have different segments in our platform where you have these skills being developed. And for T stands for teleprinting. Teleprinting means writing the bullet points or the summary or the main points. So F stands for foreseeing, I stands for investigation, R stands for reading, S stands for speaking out, T stands for teleprinting. I'm not going to explain it in very detail. That's more than enough. And as we go on, we'll be explaining each aspect which is required, and we'll be focusing more on here foreseeing and investigation. Okay, and speaking out. Teleprinting also definitely you have to do, but it all depends how much you can do and all. In this T part, teleprinting, it happens all your learning feedbacks, learning notes, all these things happens at this stage. So we'll be going through this first method.